Alright guys, we are ready to fit this axle. So what we have here is my buddy TTR Fabrication threw this all together for me, but it's a fabricated 9-inch housing, Dana 60 knuckles, and Dana 60 hubs that have been re-drilled for 5 on 5.5. We did the ball joint eliminators, the MoFab high steer. He done all that, not I. But we've got the Curry high pinion 9-inch with 456 gears and a Grizzly locker. And we've got our fancy rear sump 5-cylinder pan that we cut for all this. So we have billet Yukon axle shafts in this thing. That side is not in because we're going to tear it all apart anyway, so we just left that side out. But we're going to get this thing fitted underneath there.
Alright guys, your quick overview on how we got this axle centered and located and everything. So first things first, we got these pipe stands to work off of since they're up off the ground and we're on a lift. But we got, using the pipe stands, we're able to get the axle leveled this way. And then also with this ratchet strap, it's kind of hard to see, just stuff hanging everywhere, but we were able to set the caster angle using this and the ratchet straps to get it rolled on the stands just right. So we have this set at approximately 7 degrees for now. We can fine tune that later once all the links are in place. But then once we got all that in position, it was a matter of scooting the stands around based off these plumb bobs that are kind of haphazardly hung off the body.
Here we have Iron Rock Off-Road's XJ 3-link arms. We've got the both lowers and then one upper. I went with the XJ 3-link arms because I have an XJ and it works really well and I can make it fit this Sport Trac. So we've got 2 inches of thread showing right now. That way if I ever need to move the axle more forward, these have a really long shank.
5.5 inches.
Yeah, 5.5 inches of threaded shank. So if I need to, I can go 2 inches in or I can go a lot out. But what we're using for axle brackets is a Barnes full of drive. This is a 10 degree for the lower links. And then their frame side brackets for the rear part of the lower links. And then the upper brackets, I've got a Barnes style factory XJ one for here. And then I've got, we'll go over that here in a little bit, the upper frame side bracket. It's got multiple holes. But we've got this axle all set up and ready to start putting links on. So Alright, so we moved this whole 3-link suspension and axle forward 1 inch because we did some measuring and it was just going to play out better in our favor to just go ahead and move it forward 1 inch, and then our adjustment, we have greater adjustment than in the future because we can move this forward 1 inch, 1.5 inches, no problem, or we can suck it back 1 inch there. But since we're going with a 37-inch tire, the clearance to here was less than what it was going to be up there, so we just moved it forward 1 inch. Now we're doing the we're going to redo the transmission cross member, and next week we're going to go in and fully weld all the suspension stuff and do the coilover hoops, and we got a sweet surprise of coilovers for next week to show you guys. Right now Austin's working on the transmission cross member. He's over there on the weld fab table, so So Austin got the frame stiffeners welded on earlier. So we got the top plate on and the side plate, and they're plug welded. So now we have a good solid foundation to attach our Toyota steering gearbox and also track bar bracket and shock coilover hoops. So here's the steering gearbox that we're going to use. Oh man, we hit the damn number. I think it's 278473. These are the early Toyota 4Runner gearboxes, and these are ideal because they're a flat face mount and they sit on top of the frame rail. You got to have a special Borgeson U-joint here, which we have. We'll showcase that later. But the pitman arm you're going to want is from Trail Gear. You can get this from Summit Racing or wherever, but there's the part number. This will fit this gearbox and position our drag link in the correct area to match our track bar. So on these Toyota gearboxes, they have a flat stamp on them here to show the orientation that the pitman arm goes on. So you just keep the pitman arm parallel with that line. So we're going to go ahead and start doing the tie rod here to connect the two hubs together, get the wheels on, center the axle, and then we'll start doing the steering gearbox. So the pitman arm nut is 1 3/8 inches. These get torqued to 130 foot-pounds. I'm obviously not going to torque it yet until we get all the steering done. Then I can have some resistance with it. We're just going to impact it on for now so we can get the arm seated. There we go. So see how close it is to the diff already?
Alright, what we need to do is right now put it at the bottom, get them aligned, get this thing cut to length, and then we can worry about clearance here.
Because if we gotta bend it though is what I'm getting at. Because if we cut it and then we bend it, it's getting shorter yet.
Well, I think if it's at the bottom, it will not, I think it'll not hit this.
Okay, alright. So
Once it's shorter, because I mean it's probably like 1 inch too long. So we need to figure that out first.
.64 3/4, so that'll be close enough to get us in the ballpark of having them parallel together, the hubs, and we can fine tune that 1/8 inch with the tube nuts by screwing the tie rod together to pull them in or out.
So we are getting the tie rod mocked up here. So this was a kit that he bought. It has all the rod ends and tube adapters and a piece of DOM. So what I did is I went ahead and tacked this one tube adapter to the end of the tie rod, and then we went over and we made sure the steering knuckles were parallel, or at least close, and marked where this needed to be cut off at. So that's what I'm about to do, is cut that off. Alright, so one thing about putting tube adapters on a piece of DOM like this, ideally you want to TIG weld the root of it, that way you get full penetration, which is what I did here. I just fused all the way around it so the root is tied in good. But then if you are MIG welding these things, don't push that all the way in there. You want that out there just a little bit so you can see a little bit of that flat down there, and that will help get full penetration with the MIG welder down in there, because this is a crucial component. You know, you don't want the tie rod splitting in half. So I just cut this piece of DOM off at the length that we determined, and I went ahead and deburred this, and I put a slight bevel that way to give it slightly more access to get down there. Alright, so I have this set up here. I'm fixing to tack this end in there, and then we're going to go test fit it. And I'm not going to weld it all the way out.
.64 3/4. 64 13/16. So we're within a 16.
Damn.
But it ain't gonna turn. Did it?
Yep, we're on the stop.
Oh, this one's not. Nope, I'm like a 1/4 inch from the stopper, bro. I can grind that diff cover down though. Go back my way, make sure you're gonna hit the stopper.
I am on the stop.
In that area, we need to grind it down. Oh, found a little pinhole.
This isn't an issue when other people do it? Like this pumpkin's just bigger? I mean, it's not far off at all.
Don't know. I mean, I would prefer to go lock to lock. Go, push, let me see. Yeah, you're just dead on the stopper. My stopper's been unmodified, so. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep cutting until it fits.
Now that we know this tie rod is the correct length, I'm going to go ahead and put the root pass in here on this tube adapter. So we got the tie rod at the right length and we got it put on there. We ran into a little bit of an issue.
Oh, here we go.
With the tie rod hitting the differential, so we had to clearance that some. Not ideal, but now we can turn lock to lock both ways. So the steering stop here. We can turn all the way.
Alright, so now the next step is to get the gearbox mounted, which we're going to take pieces of the core support cutoff tubing and sleeve the frame rail so we can tie the inner frame rail and the outer frame rail together. Then the through bolts will just squeeze the tubes, not try to squeeze the frame rail. So that's the next step. Could hold itself. Still pretty straight. Oh. Now on this pitman arm, you will have to drill it out to a 3/4 bolt because we are using the Barnes full drive heavy duty steering kit. And they use 3/4 bolts to hold the heims to the whatever you're attaching it to. Now we're just going to go ahead and drill it out. That much.
Six and a half hours later.
Oh man.
Alright, so right now we are making holes in the frame rail so that way we can install these sleeves and that will be where the steering box bolts onto. Oh, we are using a plasma and Derek's going to attempt a drill bit. I think he's going to break his wrist.
Not everyone has little girl wrists like you. There. Oh, the frame rail arch is down. Look at that. Alright, there's my center mark right there. You brought me over here, and I'm the one that don't mess around.
So here I'm fixing to install this sleeve through the frame rail. That way the steering gearbox bolt doesn't squash the frame rail. 1/8 washer?
No, that was a 1/2 inch washer.
We'll get a 7/16 washer.
Well, a 7/16 ain't gonna fit in there either. You have to have like a 3/8 one to get in there.
Are you kidding me?
There you go again, cussing. The kids are gonna see this.
Your dad's a know-it-all.
It's taken a lot of years to get this knowledge.
My God, you're the smartest man on earth, man.
Hey, if you need an answer to a question, you know who to call.
You'll make one up, won't you?
I'll make it sound good. That's as good as it's gonna get, Austin. I mean, that looks. I mean, hell, the gearbox is level now with the ground, so. I mean,
I can grind that some more and get a little more out of it.
It looks good. It'll be fine.
I'm going to drill a pilot hole so that way I don't have to pierce it with the plasma. And then I'm going to get the smallest drill bit I can that's long enough to go all the way through and drill it through.
Right, I got a airplane bit.
Oh, what? An airplane bit?
That's what they call them. I've got one like this long too.
It'll work. By God, he might just know everything.
He's got a neutral drop, the drill bit.
Well, drill bit is too sharp.
They look good, yep.
Perfect. The bolts for the gearbox go through all of our sleeves, so now I'm going to weld those last 2 sleeves.
Alright, so now that Austin's got all that all finished welded up, we're going to go ahead and paint that section of frame rail because we're not going to need to take the gearbox off again. So it'll just be permanently bolted on here after I paint it. And then we'll continue on to drag link and track bar, but we'll get the wheels bolted on to do that. So it is pretty nice. These washers that you said would fit. Drop the gearbox down so we'll see if they'll fit. No, we gotta see if they'll... Let's see.
Oh dear God.
Let's see. Oh, they don't fit in the hole. Oh my gosh. No wonder I didn't use 7/16 washers.
He had to just prove you wrong, huh?
3/8. Here's a 3/8 washer. I guarantee it'll drop right down in there. Let's check it.
Oh, I'm putting it on. You.
Here we go
Leak
again.
that.
My kid's gonna hate that. Hey, a lot of metal dust down in there. I don't even think I'm gonna put washers on in here. You don't need them.
That's the side that needs washers. The frame rails. Oh yeah, it's
slugged.
yeah, that's right.
It's not gonna pull. So
All right, brain fart, man.
like, I'll put a washer.
It'll look professional with a washer on there.
Or I could just, you know, drill a 3/8 one.
Do what?
Flip sides here. I can't see it. This is the Knuckle Whacker 3000 right there. Hope I don't slip, smack my hands in that tie rod. So we got the drag link just sitting here for now. We're gonna go ahead and lower it down, bolt the tires and wheels on, center the axle to the Explorer, and then we'll go ahead and get the drag link cut and welded up, tack welded on, and then we'll start on track bar. Whoa! Go up a little bit.
With me today for you.
So you're just gonna have to deal with the pain.
Vagisil, isn't that like a workout cream or something?
It is. It makes you really strong.
You hear that? Everybody, go get Vagisil to make your muscles big.
Keep going. Oh, come on, Peter Pan. Oh,
Alright, wait. I moved like this.
Oh, she's got a long way to go. We ain't got very much resistance here.
Oh, dude, it ain't moving.
I'm telling you. All right. Let me grab the ratchet strap. I need a creeper. All right. All right. Well. All right. That might be it. All right, guys. So now that we got the drag link and tie rod and steering gear all set up, we're going to do the track bar. We've got the axle centered underneath the rig here. And this frame side bracket is the Barnes full drive one. It offsets away from the frame. So that way it'll be matching our steering gear offset. And Austin's got the axle side bracket. It's the low side mount from Barnes full drive. We're going to scoot it as far over as possible. That way our drag link to track bar links will be as close as possible. The angles will be as close as possible, and the links will be as close as possible. So we don't get no weird bump steer.
Is that where it needs to be?
Yep.
30 3/4.
Austin messed it up. badly. He melted my tube nut to the heim.
They move. You can get it out of there with some work.
It's not like they like it though.
I gotta go above, I gotta put these on, or here, you shove these on.
Alright, today we're going to put back in this high pinion 9-inch. Since we've got everything all painted up, engine back in, we can get this put back in, get the links back on, coilovers mounted, track bar done, steering. Oh, it would be the lazy way and lay on the ground and do it all. I'm putting in the upper link right now. God dang, slide that one back now.
Alright. Now we're putting in the passenger lower link. Alright, Chris, push it in to me. Push it to me.
We got the 3-link just temporary. I mean, it's just not bolted in. It's the bolts are just sitting in their holes. Now we're gonna get the track bar in, and then we'll get the coilovers on. It'll go in the middle hole, Connor.
Okay, now.
Oh, now.
Yep.
All these times we've slid that bolt in with our fingers.
Yeah, right.
There she is. Keep going. Right there will work. Okay.
Go down more. Alright, right there.
Did that perfectly.
Here's our king coilovers we got assembled. We'll get these mounted. We had AccuTune tune these, if you guys remember in the earlier video. Alright.
Hold on. There's one side.
Should I do on top or?
Alright, see there? That's how science.
We're putting it under load now.
I think someone else in here. Hang on.
Yep.
Who else is here?
Oh, that's probably your mom. She went to the bathroom.
Alright, go ahead.
Did you widen that, or you didn't need to?
I don't know, I'm just gonna wait. Probably better run this one the other way, make it look a little better. Hey, these will fit the Bronco. So these are the 17 by 9.5 Dirty Life messes. They're like the coolest wheel you can buy. Then we went with the Kenda Cleaver red letters, 37 1250s. That way we can do some serious rock climbing. So here's the final install of the steering and suspension that we done. Now this one had multiple videos because we worked on it here and there. But the drag link here, we bent it at ride height whenever the weight's on the axle. It'll neutralize these heims so they're not loaded to begin with. That's why this is bent. It don't look right whenever the axle's hanging here. And then this track bar, we bent it to clear this diff at full bump, full compression. None of these bolts are tight yet, so we just kind of been assembling here and there. The coilovers, they're all fitted. Nothing's tight on them yet. We still got to do the coilover mounts, which that'll be on the next video. Just be tidying up some stuff. The axle, we've got all the brackets fully welded. Lower control arm brackets, the upper control arm bracket, the coilover tabs, the panhard bar, everything's been fully welded. And then where we notched here for the drag link to clear, pulled the lower control arms out and welded all the frame side brackets, welded the frame side brackets on the panhard bar. And then the gearbox, got it all fitted on. Yep, everything's basically final assembly now, so we'll start doing little short videos again on the next project here, so stay tuned.